Good morning. I want to, before I jump into verse 7, just sort of expand on Paul's externalism thing for a moment. There's sort of this intoxication with power, money, and sex that's embedded in our culture, and we can find status in those kinds of things. We can find those kinds of things intoxicating to us as artifacts that allegedly matter, and they don't in light of Christ. I want to give you a couple of quotes this morning. So a little bit of a different thought for the day. Here's A.W. Tozer in The Pursuit of God. He says, "Things have become necessary to us, a development never originally intended. God's gifts now take the place of God, and the whole course of nature is upset by the monstrous substitution." Things have become necessary to us, and the whole course of nature is upset by the monstrous substitution, Tozer says, of God being removed from his place and stuff put in his place. What a mess that is when status in that way, power in that way, stuff in that way becomes the kind of thing that we long for. Sometimes our position, our sense of elitism, or even our wealth and capability can be the kind of thing that is where we put our stock. Because when we're down on life, we look at others and compare. We don't feel like we measure up. John Piper says the following: "The world is not impressed when Christians get rich and say thanks to God. They are impressed when God is so satisfying that we give our riches away for Christ's sake and count it gain." Oh, that's powerful. I hope we might need to hear that again. The world's not impressed when Christians get rich and say thanks to God. They're impressed when God is so satisfying that we give our riches away for Christ's sake and count it gain. Wow. See, sometimes we, even as Christians, can get a little clout with maybe how much money we're making, what kind of house we have, what kind of car we drive. That is not what moves the meter in the world, and it's certainly not what the Lord wants. The Lord wants our identity fully in the gospel, and the gospel moves forward not because of our status. The gospel moves forward because of its power working in our lives. We also can prize sex too much. Eroticism. Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote, "Lust is impure because it is unbelief, and therefore it is to be shunned. No sacrifice is too great if it enables us to conquer a lust which cuts us off from Jesus. When you have made your eye the instrument of impurity, you cannot see God with it." See, that last line, you can say that about things beyond lust. If you've made money the object of your eye, you won't be able to see God with it. If you've made power the object, if you've made status the object, if you've made accomplishment the object, if you've made lust, sex the object. See, Paul is going to go in verse 7 and following in a very powerful direction. But we all need to be clear as we enter into chapter 3, verse 7, that nothing counts in light of Christ. Nothing measures up alongside him. And there's no elitism, eroticism, externalism, stuff, accomplishment, anything that compares to Christ. It all fades in comparison to his greatness. May the Lord make him the object of your treasure. Take care.